About you.
I was wondering about that. I don't know. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything that's gonna require like a,
This high rate.
yeah.
All
right. We can make some.
There's.
Are you done yet?
Not ready.
Yeah. Is everybody good with the whole agenda here?
Love it.
All right. Do a motion to adjourn.
What's this 149 thing?
Hold on, we'll get down there.
Maybe just go over the board.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
All right, Phyllis, are you there? Are we here?
I am. You are.
Okay, thank you. We call this meeting of the Kings Common Council Caucus to order here at 7:05 or so, whatever this day is, in August. Oh, it's 6th, my son's birthday. Happy birthday. So we have a few items here to go over.
Right, it's only the fourth.
Yeah.
6th is Wednesday.
Oh, no, 6th is my anniversary, sorry. 4th is my son's
Happy
birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Today being the fourth.
today being the 4th, yeah.
So
all mixed up.
it's the heat, it's got to
Yeah.
all of us.
6th is also Hiroshima Day. Yeah, so my wife and I got married on Hiroshima Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a meaningful day.
Yes, it is. Metaphor,
Yeah, right.
big metaphor. All right, resolution 120 is a budget transfer in the Parks and Recreation Department, the amount of $130,000 to construct and install
Mhm.
new ADA accessible kayak launch on the Rondout Creek at TR Gallup Park to replace the deteriorated. Ready to go that one?
Yes.
All right. Resolution 121 is authorizing the mayor to submit an application to the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation and the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York, DASNY, for a New York building recreational infrastructure for communities, kids, and seniors BRIC grant in an amount of up to $3 million for the Rondout Neighborhood Center Improvements Project and to execute any and all related documents. So again, this is just authorizing the application.
Okay, I just want to say one thing,
Say.
that at $3 million, it's a 20% match on this, so
Mhm.
were we to win this, the city would have to come up with $600,000.
Or could be, service house.
Some of it is in
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, it is allowed to be in kind?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay, good.
We can also bond for it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right, but services,
that's what we don't want.
Yeah, but the building needs it,
Yes.
especially since it may have a spit in your name too.
Yes, no, I understand. I just want us to be mindful of that.
Yes, thank you. All right, resolution 122, adding no turn on red signals on Lucas Avenue and Washington Avenue and adding stop intersections on Hartley Street at Trimper Avenue and Smith Avenue.
I beg to differ with this one, but in the committee meeting, we removed no turn on red signals
Yes.
at Lucas Avenue, Lucas Avenue at Washington.
That's correct.
So,
Alyssa,
Yeah.
on resolution 122 in committee, we had taken out the part of the resolution about adding no turn on red signals on Lucas Avenue at Washington. So it should only read adding stop intersections, adding stop signs at intersections on Ardsley Street, Trimper Avenue, and Smith Avenue.
Okay. Let's see here. So can you repeat that again, please? Just
On
what is it
resolution
supposed to say?
22, the phrase adding no turn on red signals on Lucas Avenue and Washington Avenue, that should be deleted because
Okay. So you still want, you're still adding the stop intersection on Ardsley?
correct.
correct.
Okay.
But we're looking at, okay, so, well, this is a question then, because we took it off in our discussion, but we didn't actually delete it from the committee report. So does that mean that we need to like take it off in committee tomorrow, I mean, in council tomorrow night? Not up right now. Okay.
I'll get back.
And then,
Yeah. Did you hear that part, Alyssa?
So you're gonna make a motion on the floor to change it on the floor. I'll just have it prepared, the correct one.
Yeah, that's the option to follow.
Like it the other.
And I would be happy to make the motion.
Good, thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
resolution, thank you. Resolution 123, removing handicap parking on West Union Avenue. We all right with that? Resolution 124, authorizing the renaming of the Rondell Community Center, the Albert Brown Community Center.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
okay. Did everybody read all the documentation with that? Scurrilous. Absolutely scurrilous. Where is the ABC miniseries about this? That's what.
He's working on it.
Well, makes you think about the renaming Garrigan Drive.
Rename it Malcolm X Boulevard.
That's right.
Wouldn't be bad.
Well, actually, but isn't Garrick, part of Garrick drives? I think Frank Hayden.
And so different. So just.
Either one. All right. Resolution 125, authorizing the removal of the sum of $149,000 estimated property maintenance fine from 2025 general tax bill for 7 Lindsley Avenue. Everybody good on this? Everybody need this one explained?
No, I'm good on it, but there's something about the language that I took exception to. I'm trying to find it here. Said something about to resolve like an error.
Yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't there.
So we can go into attorney client session and talk about this.
Sure. Let me just.
Did I?
Yes, so we go into the.
Okay, we're gonna go into an attorney-client session here. We don't need motions for that. We have the.
Thank you. Your volume is still off.
There we go.
Okay,
Right?
Yep, you're good. Thank you.
Okay. So this is now resolution 126. Assumes the role, Common Council assumes the role as lead agency in making a negative declaration on the short environmental assessment. Kingston Point Beach, New York Swims project. We're going to write that with that.
Mhm.
I don't know if it matters, Elizabeth, but on 126, the word Kingston is missing. Kingston Point Beach. Resolution 127. Common Council declaring its intent to serve as lead agency and seek coordinated review for the Kingston Point Wetland Restoration and Public Access Improvement Project. Project. Hang on your.
Oh, yes.
Slide
With
five.
that, 128, requesting approval to designate 17 parcels as open space to be subject to such rules and regulations as may be promulgated by the City of Kingston Parks and Recreation Department. All right. Okay. And then 129, authorizing the adoption of a bond ordinance to match the sum of $4,861,111 NYSEFC Green Resiliency Grant for safe and accessible Flatbush and Vauxhall Avenues. You okay with that? Necessary infrastructure spending here. Then 130 is the bond ordinance. And then the first.
And don't forget, that's a long one.
Long roll, yeah. Bond,
What's the bond for?
is for the Flatbush and Vauxhall Avenue.
The pedestrians from Colonial Gardens, around the corner, that's what I.
Right, yeah. Michelle's reminding us that's a long roll, so they'll call out.
Bill,
Oh, that's me. No, she listed
Oh,
one
okay.
today, isn't she?
Yes.
I think
You
so,
don't do it.
yes.
You just-
Yeah.
Say yes.
I just sit there and look pretty. And then last of all, the first meeting of local law 5, number 5 to 2025 Common Council City of Kingston, amending the regulating map of the City of Kingston's form-based code. So there will be no vote on that. That will follow in September. Good. All right. Anything else? Committee issues? Any hot ticket items?
There in the HSTPA thing that I'll talk about. Probably have to go again into the attorney-client session.
Okay. All right. Then we're going into attorney-client session. There's nothing else left, Brian, after that. So
Nothing else.
unless you've got questions for us. I think-
Okay, there, I have just one question about like that bond.
Fine, hurry up. vote. All right, Elizabeth, we're back.
Alrighty.
Okay, so the last item, it's not on the agenda, which with some of us met with the mayor to discuss the charter review process and so forth. It was a fairly fruitful meeting, but we would just like to give the rest of you all a sense of where that is. So, if you do you want to reprise what we talked about?
We've already talked about. Yeah, we're basically, in order to move forward with the charter review process, we would need to pass a local law that would determine, we talked about this last time, determine the number of commission members that will try the review commission and also the method of their selection. So we talked about a number of different ways that might happen. So you proposed, subject to the mayor, there was sort of a combination of sort of a randomly picked. There are new methods now.
It's petition.
This called, sorry,
Oh.
citizens assembly. No,
Yeah,
but I mean, you
citizens.
can't, right. Citizens assembly where people all across the city just submit an application to be involved. And there's a new way that this is being analyzed. In some communities where they take the people who have applied, they take the demographic data and then they do a sort. Just to make sure that you're hitting all of the demographics that you want. And that a certain number that are representative of community, whether it's all of the people who are on the commission or a part, we were talking about a hybrid method. That's what was used. I had a conversation with the town clerk in Decatur, Georgia, where they're just starting their charter review process. They did a combination of sort of typical appointments and the citizen assembly appointment, and they were really happy with the results. And that commission is just meeting this week for the first time, so they're sort of ahead of us. But she said they were really pleased that there are people who applied, in part because it is a limited time period. You know, people who had never sat on a committee, but people that wanted to get on committees, and then for this one opportunity to have their voice heard and to weigh in on the future of the city, some really capable people signed up through that process. So we're talking about a hybrid process. Rennie had said that he would work. Oh, then I had also reached out to NICOM, and they sent 5 different samples of laws that various communities have used. Rennie is going to work on adapting one of them for our purpose. And then we also talked about a request for proposals to try to see how much money this is going to entail, and that was the big question. The mayor mentioned is really how much this is going to cost. The question we all will have. And so my task is to sort of reach out to NICOM and to other people I've talked to find out what are we looking at in terms of budget figures. I've already started to get some answers. NICOM does not have any RFPs, but they suggested 3 communities, Beacon, Poughkeepsie, and one other community I'm forgetting, that actually have recently done a charter review process to just see what kind of RFP they might put out. And I've been in touch with a group called the National Civic League, and they also provide consulting services. So they will presumably get back to me because they've been very good respondents and have their suggestions about what they've seen. This group works with communities all over the country to do charter. That's one of the things they do. So they're going to hopefully get back to me very soon and talk about what they might be able to offer to sort of get us started and what it might look like in terms of what we need to bring in. Because they do just advice that they give virtually. They come in and they run full charter review commission processes in other places, which I don't think we need. So, so we're doing research is what we're doing now. You're welcome. Michelle and Rennie and I are the ones who met with the mayor. I guess you might want to talk about his response.
Yeah, so I mean, there's obviously concerns about finances right now, which is expected. The second concern is, the mayor had was doing this during a time of upheaval with the current, national administration and state of politics, which, I think Rennie and I both felt that doing this exercise in the charter commission actually is really important during this time because people need to really have faith in their local government and transparency, become involved. Didn't see a downside to it.
And building on that, this might be crucial because a lot of people are wondering, what can we do in the current climate? And this would be a great moment to say, well, here's something that's integral to our local government, that this would be a really powerful expression of democracy to undertake this right now. The other crucial thing is some of the samples that Sarah got were actually towns where they have built in charter review like every 10 years or every 20 years. NICOM, I don't remember if it's state law or state recommendation, but there's also very clear impetus from New York State Department of State that you should be doing this every 10, 15 years. And we haven't done it in something like 30 years.
Right.
So we also want to emphasize, and this is something we were talking with the mayor about, that this is a review process. Saying we've got to change everything. It's up to the committee that meets to decide whether or not the current structure of government meets our city's needs, if there's some minor tweaks or if there's some other key points to look at more closely and consider alternatives. Then the other thing to keep in mind is that there will be 2 gatekeeping points. Whatever that committee comes up with, it would have to pass the Common Council first and the mayor. After that, it has to, if there are any significant changes, they would have to go before the people of the city. So there would, there's 2 moments. So it's not like this committee comes up with some cockamamie idea and it's all of a sudden our new charter. There would be a fairly detailed process of looking at whatever it is they come up with.
And that would be in the form of a referendum?
It would be after the election. So that's why New York State law requires it to be done within 2 years after an election. So that's why we're trying to get this all in place now so that right after the November election, we can start the process of getting the membership for the committee. And hopefully that can be finished by the end of December so that the committee can start up in January and have a good 18 months to do their work, which would then provide for plenty of time for the council to look at it, the mayor to look at it, and then, if required, to put it before the residents, the voters. In 2027.
In 2027, right. And what I've learned too is that a lot of this, you have to really look at the charter because some things that you might want to change can be changed through a local law in your administrative code. So there are different ways to make change. And the commission would be charged with going and doing research, looking at best practices, what other communities out there doing, do they like it, is it working for their community, what are the things they'd like to see changed, so basically it's very interesting for people who participate because they get to do this research and find out, what's happening elsewhere that we might want to bring in here because it seems to be working elsewhere.
And through the whole process, we'd be strongly encouraging them to do it in a very open and communal way so that they would have a series of public meetings at various stages to elicit information, opinions from people, and really try to make it as inclusive as possible along the lines of what the consultants did with the zoning plan in multiple ways, multiple times with different constituencies. And that's the sort of thing that we really want to see as much as possible happen.
And with department heads on people within city government as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like the idea of the charter review. I think that's important, but it's to review the existing charters, as it's not creating something.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and that's, so that another thing for us to consider is whether we want to put this into our charter, that there be a more periodic review so that then it doesn't have this feeling of like, it's been 30 years, and we still got we still have a legion of knights that we're paying. So, we might want to consider that as well, looking into plugging a more periodic review into our charter. All right, questions, comments?
My main concern is the money.
Well, exactly, that's right. Yeah, because they could be very, very expensive. Depends on how, how you do it. That's what I'm trying to find out, is like, what's it gonna cost?
I know you will find them, so.
Did the mayor weigh in on the size of the commission?
Well, we were talking about a more kind of hybrid, we didn't talk about specific numbers, but we were talking about something that would be somewhat hybrid, so that there would be 9 or 10 people who are chosen through the sortition process. And then, for example, the mayor would choose 3 people, the council would choose 3 people. So that, you would have some of both. Because we were weighing, part of it too, we want to make sure that the residents of Kingston feel like that the fix is an end from the very beginning. And so that's part of the reason to have the sortition process, so that that is a very open process. People can be, show clearly that we're following through with not handpicking the specific people we want, but we also want to make sure that there's some areas of expertise, some local knowledge, and so sometimes it's good to be sure to get those people on the commission. And these are all perfectly valid ways of doing this. We're not indenting them.
So, and we need a consultant and an attorney, yes.
That's what we were
Pretty
talking
much,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone to facilitate meetings and someone who sort of can move the process along, and then the attorney is able to look at the legal aspect of it. And every commission is different, if the mayor were to appoint, there are 3 different ways, right? That commissions can be formed by the mayor, by referendum, by the city, or by the council. And I think New York State law said that the mayor appoints it could be between like 9 and 15 people. Or 5 and 15.
I think it was even smaller.
5 and 15, something like that. It's like, it's really, it's a small group of people. But when I was talking to the folks in Decatur, they have a committee that's about 25 people. 25 is 27 because half of them are through this open process. And the other half, she said, it's a city of our size, but the way that they do their business is they have these large meetings of 20-some committees for a lot of the things they do. So for them, it was standard to put together a large committee like that, which seems very unwieldy to me, but this is how they have been doing their business for 25 years, which is why they're doing a charter review, because it's been so long since they've done one. So it makes, so anyway, there's no right number. Whatever the right number is what you feel is going to, represent your responsibility.
And so we'll have the legislation, I'll adopt it, the Albany one for our purposes. But the August laws and rules meeting is where we'll try to get everything, final numbers. So, the number of people, whether we want to do it hybrid, if not, which option to choose members. And then some of those details we'll have to have that down, because it has to go through a first reading and second reading.
The first and second, yes.
Right, so we want to make sure that we get this voted on at the October meeting, or the November meeting at the very latest.
Right.
So that's why we're wanting to try to get this settled the August 20th law. Okay.
Ideas are welcome. All ideas and suggestions are welcome.
Okay. Then is there a motion to adjourn? All right. Thank you. Can you turn that off?
Good night.
Good night.